Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Art of the Game over here on Cabbit Crossin', and we are three experienced DMs, GMs, whatever M's, masters or something. I don't know.
Keepers. Lore
Keepers.
masters.
Yeah, and Greg is totally not laughing because it took 3 attempts to get this intro.
It'll probably be left in.
And we're gonna give you some tips, some tricks, and maybe we'll even debate a little bit. And because we have all different kinds of backgrounds in different games. And this idea originally was Woody's. So, Woody, why don't you introduce the concept for today's episode?
Yeah, so today we're doing something which may or may not be a good idea, but I was watching a video recently by Professor Dungeon Master over at the DungeonCraft channel. Go check it out, though I fundamentally disagree with virtually everything he says. And
Not me.
And not you. Yes, that's fine. Anyways, so he had this video where he talks about the bonus action being a bad idea in D&D rules. And apparently this was spurred on because one of the because one of the creators of D&D, 5th edition, supposedly the guy that actually designed the bonus action, decided to just put out a hot take on Twitter just to get attention. And I think they're wrong. But
the hot take was he thought bonus actions were a mistake. Just
that it didn't live up. It didn't live up to what he wanted it to be. I can tell you from a game design standpoint, I certainly have my own opinions because I had to deal with that very issue myself. But I, as usual, will cede the beginning.
Just to be fair and quote, he said it was hot garbage.
Yes, he did. Yes. Perhaps lukewarm garbage would be more appropriate. But anyways, gentlemen, what do you guys think? Because I'm going to let you guys start off, and then I'll jump in and probably disagree with you. But
if I were making my own game system, which I haven't fully made my own, and I probably won't, to be fair, but I would not have the idea of a bonus action either. I think the idea of it seems like a good idea at first, but the problem is the whole concept of it is it's called a proliferation of action economy, which is a bane on game systems in later levels. When you're doing like 5 different things on one turn, and it slows the game down. It's not fun for other people while they wait. And for things that are bonus actions most of the time, I think in most systems you could just say, just do it for free. You get it for free. That's it. Like raging, you can do it for free. It's what you are. You're a barbarian. You rage. So that's kind of my view of it. Is I tend to actually kind of agree with him on it, but I'll see what your take is in a second.
Yeah.
Marks?
So I also kind of agree a little bit with him. I don't think it's a problem in early levels, but it does become a problem as you continue on. Even in Baldur's Gate 3, like we play, which is pretty close. If I'm playing with multiple players, it gets kind of frustrating. And I don't know how many times I've had a player go, "Wait, I got something else to do. What? I got a bonus action? What bonus action I get?" You know, that kind of thing.
Look through my list.
Yeah, you know, and it's on a video game with all the tools you need to do it a little faster in theory. So yeah, I think I could see where he's coming from with bonus actions. Maybe being a good idea first, but maybe getting a little carried away with it. So, what do you think?
I think he's full of shit. So anyways, here's the thing, right? Like he's coming at it from a viewpoint of like the players are wasting time, right? And it's one of the GM's core jobs. Too much hand motion. One of the GM's core jobs.
You can't have enough on YouTube.
I know, yeah. Is to keep the game going. That's been like our mantra since day effing one,
sure.
Right? And so it is the GM's responsibility to keep the pace, right? And so if somebody's taking too much time taking their turn, you as a game master have to speed it up. You know, I either assist the person, and there's all kinds of ways to like, there's various ways that you can guide the situation to keep people from being trapped in indecision, right? But if a player simply doesn't know what their bonus action is, I call it a minor action in my game, like then they don't get it. Like it's like if they don't use it, they don't get it. You keep moving, right? I think that he's saying it's mechanically broken, and I'm saying no, you're broken. If you can't run the game, you can't like handle this action economy function well, then you need to get better. And that's my standpoint. Because like from me running this system, I think it's elegant. I think it's fantastic, and it solves so many mechanical problems that were bogging down 3.5 and Pathfinder.
So what's a bonus action that you would say, because it's in like Pathfinder it'd be swift action, like most of the D&D like games have it, right? Oh, that was weird.
What just happened there?
Yeah, it was weird. I heard myself for a second. But so what's an example of a bonus action that you think is good as a bonus action? Because like I said, or do you think rage should be a bonus action? Because in my view, I actually like the way Pathfinder does rage a bit more, where I don't even think it's a swift action, though it might be. But you can just turn it on and off per an action whenever you want. I wouldn't do it that simplistic. I would just make it like you can rage when you want, and if you rage... Actually, I would do it like that, think about it. But
if you turn it on and off as an action, you're basically trading your attack.
No, not as an action, as just for free. Like, when you take an action, you can decide whether you're raging while you do it or not.
Well, see, here's the elegance of this, right? So I'm looking at a minor action list of it because I put it all in my book, and I actually added some new things.
Ooh, hold it up to the camera.
You mean this book here?
Ooh.
And then yes, on page 253. So I put all the minor actions in, but the interesting about this is that yes, you have a minor action that can be used to say trigger this rage, right? But now you have the option to put in a class feature that lets you trigger it, or like a feat or something that lets you trigger it as a free action, right? So one of the problems from a game designer standpoint is having you want the game to be simple enough that it's easy to play, but with enough depth in construction that you are never going to run out of ways to split that hair, so that you have a long-running, robust system that can carry on for an extended period of time with new ideas, where you're not constantly tripping over yourself or getting stuck in power creep, right? So having the bonus action structurally there gives you a vast wealth of opportunity to add in these mechanics as optional special abilities for character customization. And I actually think it's a better way to handle 2-up fighting than what they did in D&D, where you have this complicated chart you have to watch, and now there's this other, like, a overly burdened series of feats you have to take just to be good at it.
You're talking about 3.5.
And Pathfinder, they both did it.
Yeah.
You know? And so, like, I think, like, in terms of handling 2-up fighting, I mean, I kind of missed the attack penalty, but I know why it's gone, but it's like, it's really simple. You know, and you have this mechanical choice, which is great. You pick up this item and flip a switch, or you shoot 2 guns, right? Like, there's a strategic depth to this, which is actually really nice.
I've seen a lot of systems with 2-up fighting. I think 5e is pretty good. I also think Daggerheart's pretty good, where having an off weapon just gives you a bonus to your main weapon, which is actually a bit more realistic. The one thing, if I really wanted to get rid of bonus actions and I really wanted to do 5e's way of doing it, why not just say when you're 2-weapon fighting, if you attack, you get an extra attack with your offhand?
Well, that's what the bonus action does.
Right, but why do you need a bonus action? That's kind of my point, is all these things that are bonus actions could just be free actions for the most part. Because then you might say, well, a barbarian has to decide, do they want to rage or do they want to use both their weapons, right? If they're 2-weapon fighting. And to me, I'm just like, just let them rage. Let them hit with both weapons or holding 2. Why not? It's not like they're going, okay, rage.
Yeah. Most people who have anger issues don't have to prep up to get to it. They're just like,
okay, so minor action, I'm flipping a switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that if you're 2-up fighting, because both your hands, unless you're using your sword to flip the switch. But it's like, that's the thing is it basically says your hand is occupied.
Well, in 5e, flipping a switch wouldn't be a minor action anyways. It would be an object interaction, which is like free with a move or something. But.
Yeah, and object. Well, I believe an object interaction is a minor action.
Oh, maybe in your system, but in D&D, it's like a bonus action is different from the item object interaction. Whatever.
Let's look it up.
Because you get a free object interaction with as part of your move in 5e.
I'm just saying, Monster of the Week, you don't have to look it up.
I mean, for rules light, there's no question. I mean, you're not playing for this type of thing if you're doing rules light, so that's kind of orthogonal to the topic, I guess.
Well, I think part of that with 2-weapon fighting, what gets you what bogs it down sometimes is we think about, in D&D at least, every combat's like blow to blow, 1, 2, 3, which I already think is, which I don't mind playing and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I like D&D, but from a martial arts standpoint, it's ridiculous because it's like, in 6 seconds I can do a lot more.
80s movie standpoint, it is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
But you could do a lot more. You're just slowing it down, try to pay attention to it. But like when you write a story or do whatever, you don't want to slow down and describe every action because it's boring. And I'm afraid that what he's talking about, at least in this video, is it can be boring to try to slow it down so much. And that's why he tries to speed up. Because also Professor DM, I don't know if this would work or not. I had to think about it. But like his example near the end where he's like, everybody tell me what you're going to do and stuff. And then and then we're going to rattle it off, confirm, boom, it all happens at once. It's kind of an interesting mechanic.
I think what this comes down to is there's two approaches to these role-playing games. And based on your approach will drive what you think about this issue. If you approach D&D the original way that D&D was originally created, which is through war games, you will definitely like this type of thing. If you came to it because you went to improv classes and you realized D&D is fun with improv, then you will not want to deal with bonus action. You'll just be like, why am I wasting my time? I'm a barbarian. I rage. What the fuck? So it's like, I think that's really what it comes down to, because there is a fun in having resources. You spend the resources to try to optimize your turn, and that can be a lot of fun. And if you don't enjoy that, why are you playing D&D, right? You should be playing some other game. But so I do kind of get that. The only thing is with me is part of me still says, I don't know, every single bonus action I can think of could probably be done without even having a concept of minor action or bonus action. You could just say you do it for free or something like that.
It's probably like in DC-20, they have action points, which you would think would be more complicated. But I don't really find it any more complicated than D&D's different actions, right? I find that more complicated because you're trying to segmentize every little thing. And that makes you go, wait a minute, what was that? What was this? And have to look things up.
To be clear, I'm sure DungeonCraft, Professor DM probably thinks the same about DC-20 as he does 5e when it comes to bonus actions, right? Because now you have to deal with 4 actions instead of 1.
Yeah, but you don't have the bonuses in it, right? It's not like a separate special thing.
Yeah,
so
usually it's just a resource here. I'm going to do this for my one attack I'm doing that uses all 4 actions, so it's not like it doesn't actually equal 4 different actions. But yeah.
Well, the thing that I personally wish from there's not a lot of things I would want to do differently with the one I wrote, but the one that I kind of wish I could go back and change is that I wish I'd known about the 3 action system in Pathfinder, because I like that a lot.
It is nice.
I mean, it is nice, and it's like I like what I did because the more it's accessible to a customer, right? Because if you're building this thing to basically create a job for yourself, like the more appealing it is to the customer base you're going after, the more successful it will be. Yeah. But I probably would have done a 4 action system, but like doing something like that where you can do anything you want as long as you use up those actions, and movement counts as one of them, and you're like, I like that a lot, and I think it would have simplified a whole bunch of things. But
we
at
probably
the same
shouldn't
time,
discuss this on the call, but we should just like get together and do a DC-20 like little quick demo run so you could see how he did it. It's kind of interesting.
That'd be fine. But like the thing is just, having done this for a long time and having a lot of experience, running these things almost on a unending weekly basis, for decades. Like for me, these things always come down to the guy, behind the screen, and whether or not because we played extremely complicated systems, we played extremely simple systems, and it really always comes down to how good the game master is at running control on the group and like handling situations so that you can keep the game rolling. And I'm not talking about like being domineering or a dictator or anything, but like, when you run into trouble, like this sort of thing, like what Professor DM was talking about, the players are looking to the game master to keep it fun. Right.
Yeah.
But what he's saying, just to do his spin, right?
Sure.
Does that mean you need to force the players to figure out the rules and make it work for them? Make those rules have to work? Kind of like our RAI discussion? Or can you tweak the rules then to make it work smoother for characters? Like if you have kids, right? He was talking about kids too. Or you'd be like, come on, kids, you idiots, come on, figure this out.
No,
or would you tweak it for those kids in that particular scenario?
Quite frankly, those children he was talking about in the video knew the game better than most people I play with. So let's be real, okay? Yeah, let's be absolutely real about this. Like,
they don't have anything else to do, but read.
Yeah. Those 10-year-olds that he was talking about have a greater command of the basic mechanics of the game than most adults I know. So, but like, I mean, you have to do what, I mean, obviously do what you think is right. I mean, like, you cannot. There is no game where they don't have house rules at the table. Like, it's just the reality of the industry. But like, it isn't slowing anything down. In my personal experience, it doesn't slow anything. And my, if I think a player is waiting too long, I just get it rolling. Like I keep the pace up when I run the game so that people aren't bored. And
I can agree with that for sure. Like, if a player goes and I just see that, you can just look at them and they get that starey look, like they don't know what to do. I immediately just go into like, well, you could do this, and then I always say, no matter how many choices I give them, I say, or anything else you can think of, but it helps them.
I remember this Magic game we were playing one time, where like these players don't really understand the game that well, but most of them just like, they're waiting until their turn to make a decision, right? And a lot of them were doing this during the actual D&D game as well, where they don't, until they actually, it's their turn, they don't even think about what's happening. And like, my turn happens whether we're playing Magic or like D&D. I'm like, okay, boom, here I go, boom, done. And then like, all the time is being wasted on these other people, right? And my cousin looks at everybody and goes, "You need to be playing the way Woody does."
Yeah. Yeah, I always know what I'm going to do before.
Yeah, and
before my turn comes up, except for the rare case where something ruins it.
Like midway through the round, something happens.
Yeah,
but never mind.
Here's a homebrew rule that I suggest everyone use. Right, in D&D, you can ready an action, and then you can do something on a trigger. I always homebrew a rule to where I say you can delay an action. In other words, you can just drop your initiative to wherever you want it to be if you don't want to go yet. And I tell them, when you know what to do, just let me know, and you'll go in that order wherever you decide to go. We'll move your initiative to there, right?
Oh, that's absolutely a rule I have in my. It's like right in my book. It's straight in there. Like, and why couldn't you? I mean, I've been, like, there's no reason why you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been letting people do that. They do that for years.
Because it helps, because they can still think through what they want to do.
Is that not officially in D&D? I think I just do it.
It's in Pathfinder.
Okay, yeah, I think it's one of those things that's like always implied, but it's never official. But I mean, the thing is that strategically, you going at your turn isn't necessarily the way, like, the time to go.
Yeah, you might want to wait to see.
Yeah, for what you're doing. Like, I mean, I see in D&D they have the hold an action, and that was kind of like intended to be that thing, but in
3.5 they had that. Yeah,
but that isn't necessarily what you need to do.
Right.
It might be like, oh wait, no, we need this fighter to go first because he's the front man. I understand he's got lower on the initiative, but we really need him to go first because he's got the shield. So
it would suck if they lose their action that round just because there's nothing they could do right then.
It's fun because there's actually a strategy to that too, right? Because if everyone delays till the fighter, the bad guy could go first.
and of course, and that's actually how it could go. But sometimes, like, I mean, that's part of why I like the bonus action system is it adds more strategic depth to the game, and if you set it up that way, and I tried to. I don't think that 5e natively does a very good job of that, but I like it when the game has strategic depth, so the players have options.
Strategery.
I feel like DC 20. What I like about DC 20's action point system, because it could be too much for some people, maybe, but
maybe
I do like
Pathfinder too.
I do like that you can take actions out of your turn sometimes.
Oh yeah,
and I think that makes it. I think that adds a lot for players to pay attention because they could take advantage of a certain circumstance happening. And
5e definitely has that issue where you're just sitting there waiting for your turn, whereas DC 20 does fix that. For instance, what's his name? Marx's character. did not have any actions left on his turn because he spent all his actions off turn doing defensive things like reflecting blaster bolts.
But I drew all the fire to me, so you guys didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Totally
did.
So my players spent me for years. We were just playing Palladium, right, which was has a very free form combat system where you are able to take actions out of turn certain ways, but like you can essentially, you have your turn, you have the things your character's capable of doing, you can do whatever you want as long as you have the physical capability or the powers for it, and it uses your action, and then you get a movement, and then there's just kind of like certain freebies are kind of assumed, right? Like flipping light switches and talking to people and so forth. But like it was very hard for my players to go from that into doing the 3.5, where they went from having knock yourself out, have fun, to no, you have 5 things you can do and that's it. And you can only do them in that order or that structure, and there's no flexibility. And it was a real tough adjustment for them. And
very, very micromanaged, right?
Yeah, it was very hard because there was all these things like used to being able to do, and they just don't exist.
Yeah,
and the game can't be flexible. It's just not built to be.
Did you all ever watch Jean-Claude Van Johnson, the Amazon show?
Yeah,
Jean-Claude making fun of himself. And,
I've never heard of this.
And he gets into this fight, and all the enemies start rushing at him, and then they stop and go, "Wait, we'll get in each other's way. Go one at a time." And it's like, that's 5e.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'm curious to see, Woody, what you think of DC-20 if you try it out sometime. And
yeah, we should do like just a little quick one of these days.
I'm very willing. I'm very willing. It just
but like you said, it's probably too late to change your system to this sort of thing.
I'm definitely not changing what I did. But yeah, let's do that after my wife's Kickstarter completes.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, why don't you tell me about the Kickstarter?
What Kickstarter are you talking about?
I love hot dogs.
When I did a Kickstarter last time, I was really frustrated at how much I could not get done while the Kickstarter was going on. So frustrating. So I guess we're probably done with the episode. So my wife is doing her first Kickstarter, which is launching on Monday. So when this episode drops, it of course will already be live. But it's based upon the Sad Hotdog Man. Do I have any artwork for this? Oh, Lord, you know what? Epic fail. I wasn't prepared. I will do better next episode, but you'll find the link at miniaturedragon.com. We did this strange comic book at Emerald City Comic Con a couple of years ago, where it's a long story, but you have this hot dog vendor who is a hot dog. He wanders off into space, and it gets into weird effed up space opera stuff where you've got pretzel people, you've got peppers.
Kind of cannibalism, I'm just saying.
Right.
Yes.
Cannibal?
Yes. Yes. The hot dog man is depicted as eating hot dogs. There's like this race made of pimentos that actually eats people's heads and takes their bodies. There's Cthulhu monsters and things. And then we ended up making a bunch of RPG zines. And so we're launching a compilation book where you can have all this stuff in 5e compatible.
So
or
when
maybe
you go to that
DC-20,
site,
it sounds like they're very similar. Yeah.
When you go to that site there and you see a weird picture of a hot dog, don't go, "That's weird." Click it. Just click it.
Yeah. You can actually play a Cthulhu tadpole in this universe, and if you play the the corn dog variant of the hot dog, having stick up your ass is a racial feature.
I get it.
Yeah. Yes.
I wasn't ready for it, but
yeah. Thank you. But yes, so I'm obligated to help promote this because I'm married to my wife, and happy life.
Is that how that works?
Happy. Yeah, maybe. I mean, also interesting enough, yes, it's her Kickstarter, but I'm doing all the work. So, anyways,
and I will
is that how that works?
Yeah.
Cabbit Cross just did a Kickstarter, and it wrapped up. We just fulfilled everything. Well, we have actually a 5e digital bonus award. It's the last thing I have to get out to people, but we got everything else out. And we're for pre-order for the books. We got Janet Tells and Twisted Lore. This is volume 1. Volume 2 is not in my hands right now. But those are out, and you go to cabbitcrossing.com. You can see them the pre-order for the last Tuesday of February and the first Tuesday of March. You can pre-order those.
Yes, I'm going to have some pictures ready for the next one. They're over here somewhere.
For me, I really like baking chocolate. I just eat the crap out of that, but that's the only thing I want to promote.
That's great. Are you going to do, let's see, I don't know, what's the what's the crowdfunding thing you do whenever like medical problems and stuff like
Oh,
that?
Gibson, no.
It's a
GoFundMe?
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, you gonna do a GoFundMe on your chocolate addiction?
Yeah, here's the pimento man. You can play this guy,
There you go.
and then here are the hot dog people. You can literally play this race.
Nice.
It is. I'm sorry, I'm doing a terrible job.
You can be a
English.
hot dog eating a hot dog. That's eating a hot dog.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's not messed up. I'm just saying it's very.
I'm just saying that's why you want to go buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do that in D&D.
Yep. Yeah.
Bonus action mustard.
So we met this kid. We're selling the little zine books with the hot dog race, and then we also have the hot dog miniature that my wife got 3D printed. And then this guy buys this and he says, "Okay, this is my next character. I don't care what the game master says." He's just like absolutely determined to play like some hot dog barbarian thing or whatever it was he had in mind. But it's crazy.
As you should.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we are done covering bonus actions, talking about that video from Professor DM, aka DungeonCraft. So do go check it out. Some good tips in there and stuff. And
check out his channel. He's interesting.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with him, he always has interesting stuff.
Yeah, he's got interesting stuff.
And listen to him quote things from our show immediately after the episode aired, even though he probably didn't watch it, or did he?
He also has really good crafting videos that no one watches because the algorithm doesn't promote it. So check those out too.
The algorithm.
They are not bad. He's not crafting anything I want to make, but they are interesting.
No, but he goes through how to do it cheap. Which is
I'm not being critical.
Yeah,
it's just not my thing.
You just don't like anything.
It's a lot of work building the stuff he makes.
Oh, I know.
I know. Like
I wouldn't do it.
But he
I
does
am
it for
not
dirt cheap. That's his thing. Is he does it for cheap. So, yeah.
Yeah, I am not going to do all that stuff. But,
No. We're not. I'm not that committed of a GM.
I
Maybe
would
people
Never
are paying
do
me.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for today's episode of Art of the Game. Be sure to let us know your thoughts about that Professor DM video, about this video, about hot dogs. I don't know, whatever, in the comments. Let us know. And
Give us your best hot dog story in the comments.
Yeah, it's your best hot dog story.
You might be asking for it on that, Greg.
Oh, bounce, kabow.
Make sure you include pictures. No. But we do check out the comments, and we will talk to you and stuff. We like to make it a conversation. So until next time, this is the game. Go play a game now. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
When the dice roll high, we touch the sky. But when they crash, it's a belly laugh. Genre play, lighting the